Welcome to Dahod Garden. Today,
here is the backflow device for our sprinkler system. It's busted, so we need to change this pressure breaker valve. So let's see what the problem is. If you see here, you will notice that this part of the valve has cracked, so we are going to replace this. What is a backflow device? Basically, a backflow device is something that prevents the flow of water in the opposite direction. So as you can see, this is the water source which is coming from the city, and the flow of the water goes from the source to our sprinkler system as pointed by this arrow. So what we really don't want is the water flowing in the opposite direction, because the water from the yard may have some toxins or contaminants which may pollute the water source, and which is something that we don't really would want. Actually, it's illegal by law, and also there are city ordinances against that. So this device sits between our input to the sprinkler system and the city source. So how I'm going to get this out? So what I'm going to do is actually cut this PVC pipe, and so that would give me access to basically unassemble the whole thing and take the device out. So before we cut the pipe, make sure you turn off the water, your main source of supply. And also what you want to do is turn on all these test cocks so that it bleeds any water or air trapped in it, and that's how, you know, we would not really be hit by pressure if we try to cut this pipe. You can see we are bleeding out all the water and air trapped into this system. So I'm going to use a PVC pipe cutter, this one which I got from Harbor Freight for about $7-8, and so this will help me to cut the PVC pipe, and that's what I want to take this whole assembly out. Alright, so I cut the pipe, and now I'm gonna just unscrew this end from the device, and then that would disconnect this part from the device. Alright, while we work on the assembly, I have plugged the pipe that goes as a feeder to my sprinkler system so that we don't have any impurities getting into the system and clog things up. Alright, the entire device is out along with the pipe assembly, and I have also plugged in the source, which is my water supply from the city. Okay, so here are all the pieces that I disconnected. This was the PVC pipe which connected from the device to my sprinkler system. This is the assembly of PVC pipe and some accessories that connected the main water supply to the device. Here is the device itself, and to do this I used a pipe cutter, channel locks, and a screwdriver. Here is the old cracked PVB that we took out, and we are going to replace it with this brand new PVB. It's from a different company. It's from Fepco. This one was Wilkins, but it should do the same job. This are 1-inch device. I'm now working on the PVC pipe assemblies. Basically we have two assemblies, one that goes from my water source, that is from my city to the backflow device, which is the PVB, and then the other one goes from the PVB to the feed line of my sprinkler system. So to do this, I'm using a Schedule 40 1-inch PVC pipe and a whole bunch of connectors. Basically, you have couplers, elbows, and a couple of female connectors. These are all 1-inch connectors. The first assembly is all done and it's dry fitted. Now I'm going to work on the second one. Alright, the second assembly is also done. Now I'm going to put everything together to check for the dry fit, and then we are going to glue and tape everything together. So I'm going to go ahead and do the assemblies and dry fit everything, and then once I'm sure everything is in a proper order, then I'm going to use the PVC primer and cement and some Teflon tape and maybe some connector paste to kind of make it permanent so that the joints are nice and secure and they can withstand the water pressure and don't come off. I dry fitted everything and tried it, and everything seemed to work. So I went ahead and glued everything together with the primer and PVC cement. I pretty much kept the same design on the input side. So as you can see, there is this little outlet here which would be useful to drain the system once we start winterizing it. Also, I added another special elbow with a similar type of outlet, and this will allow us to connect the air compressor when we winterize the system. Another thing I did is I pulled the backflow device a little bit out of the house, so this will give us enough clearance if we need to go at the back and check on something. Alright, we are going to give a couple of hours for everything to nicely dry out, and then I'm going to open this plug and let the system bleed for a little bit so that it clears out all the debris stuck into it. Also, another thing you may want to note is you should have your backflow device at least 12 inches above the highest sprinkler head in your yard. So I really have here about 40 inches, which is more than sufficient. Also, I'm going to open up my test cocks so that they also help in bleeding the valves if any water accidentally gets in there. You may also want to make sure that both the ball valves are also shut, which in this case they are. I turned the water on, and as expected it's draining from this outlet. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the water again and put the plug back, and then it will test the whole system. Put the plug back and turn on the ball valves, and now the system is fully functional. All I need to do is turn on my sprinklers. Alright, this is a sprinkler head which is at the highest point in my yard, and it came up, so it seems like everything is working. It should be, and that's how you replace a backflow device. Well, the only thing that is left to be done is to get a city certified tech to come out and test the backflow and file the compliance report with the city.